She told me she wants to be a better version of herself. This sounds a lot like the I need to work on myself
Yeah.
pitch. She said that when she, I guess, becomes a better version of herself, then we could date. She promised me she wouldn't be with others. We were long distance. We were together for 2 years. What should I do? All right. So long distance is bad. Long distance is tough. If just for future reference, avoid those. Okay. If you're already in them though and you love this person, then that doesn't really do anything for you. But so she needs to work on herself or wants to be a better version of herself. So the question, the honest, rational question here is, why couldn't she work on herself and be with you? As a matter of fact, why couldn't you help her? Right? Why couldn't you help her be a better version of herself? Well, you could. And when you love somebody and you're in a relationship with them, really it's constantly helping both of you be better versions of yourself. I mean, that's what it is. So her saying this is not true. She is really, honestly, I'm telling you, she's not thinking, I'm just going to be a better version of myself and then we'll get back together. I just, she's not thinking that. She's saying she wants to be a better version of herself because it sounds deep and meaningful and profound. And she thinks that it will be something you can't argue with. She's lying to you. That's not the reason. Um, and both Ken and I can attest to this, that we've gone through bouts in our lives where we have been some pretty sorry people. And that does not mean that we should leave the person we're with. That's not how that works. Um, you were made to be with someone else. You weren't made to be alone on a mountaintop. And so this is a fairy tale. And her saying she's not going to be with anybody else, you can't trust what they say when they break up with you, because they're wanting you to leave them alone, and they're wanting you to. They think if they give you less reason to be emotional or angry, that you will give them an easy breakup, and they're going to tell you all kinds of stuff they don't mean. And if I didn't have so much experience with this, where people would tell me he said he wasn't interested in being with anybody else, 2 or 3 days later she sees him kissing another woman, or he sees her kissing another guy, whatever it is. I mean, that's almost regular as far as a daily occurrence where I hear about it. And so usually when I hear somebody say something like that, I even wonder sometimes if they've already got somebody lined up. I don't mean to be so negative. I'm just telling you, if you're putting your hopes into this, into what she said, I would not put my hopes into it. And I would, if you want to try to get her back, I do have some things in the emergency breakup kit about long distance, but and also some videos on long distance. And I know Ken can talk some to this as well. But no contact is obviously still going to be your base. And here's the thing you have to ask yourself: if let me say it this way, if you're willing to move to where she is, because this is the real reason long distance relationships break up. And like the other thing I was talking about earlier, and so many things, this is not something they would consciously think about, but it's where the distance has eroded attraction for so long, they're not motivated to be with you. So if you say to them, "Was it the distance?" No, it's not the distance. Well, they can't really tell you that that's what it was, but that's what eroded attraction. Because think about it, all the effort it takes to see you, okay, over the years, over the months. You said you were together 2 years. That will erode attraction because she's not able to see you every day, so the intimacy is not going to be as high. Not every day, but several times a week, several times a month. So there's all kinds of things working against you, and eventually attraction falls. So then the motivation to work on it is much less. But I can tell you this much: if she does come back around, reach out to you, it needs to be on the table. We've got to bridge geography here so we can be together, like really be together, or else it's long distance relationships. Most of them don't make it more than 2-3 years at best. I know there are exceptions. Most of them don't get that far. Okay, Ken?
Yeah, I totally agree. There's something that you're missing part of the story. She's not giving you the full story because, like Lee said, think about it in your own life too. When you're going through a challenging time, like I want to be a better version of myself. So you want to focus on you. Like Lee said, when you're trying to be a better version of you, or you're facing something challenging, a lot of times in a call, somebody might say, I really need to deal with this issue, or I've got this coming up and I'm really stressed out. Well, when you're stressed out or you're going through a challenging time, most people will pull the people closest to them even closer. Like if you talk to a psychiatrist or a therapist, they'll usually say, hey, if you're about to kick an addiction, or if you're about to challenge something, a habit, or reinforce something good that you're trying to improve on, then you lean on the people that are closest to you. You don't push them away so you can go be a better version of yourself. And then it's adding unrealistic on top of unnatural when she says, but don't worry, I'm not going to date anybody else. But like Lee said, well, if that's the case, then wait, you like me slash love me possibly enough to get back together with me later. But somehow, even though you're not going to be dating anybody else now, you still don't want to even be with me, even though we're long distance. That doesn't make sense. There's too many conflicting things in there that just tell you she's handing you basically a box of nothing, which means that the reasons aren't something you can change. I need to work on myself. Well, when somebody really wants to break up with you, they can tell you something like that. They get to sound deep, they get to sound complicated, they get to feel confused. They even get, a lot of times, the person they're breaking up with will voice admiration, like, thank you for telling me, thank you for being honest. So they get to avoid the sticky, awkward, painful part of that conversation, but it's also not honest. And there's nothing you can do to fix it. What are you going to do? You're going to tell her, no, you don't need to be a better version of yourself. You're fine the way you are. You really can't argue with that kind of an excuse. And I think that's why she picked it and handed it to you.
And by the way, folks, you can book a call with Coach Ken. All you have to do is go to dotheyloveme.com. Okay, and he's my lead staff coach. A lot of you don't know who he is. Well, you're getting to meet him and see that he does know his stuff. Like I said, he's worked with me since 2004, give or take 2-3 years in the middle there. But you can book a call with him at dotheyloveme.com. Dotheyloveme.com. All right, let's go to another one here.